I'm Gary Nickerson,
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
and this is Outside My Window. The Yarmouth County Senior Safety Program began in 2012 as a partnership between the municipality of the District of Yarmouth, the municipality of the District of Argyll, Yarmouth Rural RCMP, the Yarmouth Town and County Crime Prevention Association, and the Department of Seniors. That's the provincial department. Now, this program works with older adults to keep them in their homes safely for as long as possible with an education piece on scam and crime prevention. This is done through a variety of ways, including but not limited to home visits, community presentations, and service navigation. We're speaking with Ashley Rhyno with the municipality of the District of Yarmouth and Peggy Boudreau with the municipality of the District of Argyll. They're both senior safety coordinators. Ladies, welcome.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Oh, we're pleased that you could take the time. We've got a lot to talk about, and it's certainly very timely. But let's start off with a bit of background, whoever wants to tackle this first. So when was the senior safety program launched, and what was its impetus? What was the reason?
Okay, it's Peggy speaking here, and the program started in 2012, and it was the staff sergeant at the time, which was Michel Lacroix, approached the municipalities to see if they were interested in this program, because the reason why was he had already dealt with these programs in other areas, and he thought it would be a great benefit to the area here, because we didn't have a program at the time. So that's how it all started, from the municipality. So the municipality of Argyll at the time hired a full-time coordinator, which was myself. And then the municipality of Yarmouth hired a part-time at the time. And so the program was formed. So it was brand new to the region. So we started, doing things like calling people to get the program out there to the community. So the need was definitely there. I knew there was a need, and Michelle knew there was a need. So it developed, and it's going on 10 years now. It's changed. The program has changed a lot as far as the things that we do. We do a lot more now, and the cases are different, I would say. And so I guess that's about it. That's for the history part.
So is this program based on a national model?
No, this is a provincial, as far as I know. I know that the province of Nova Scotia has programs in each region, in each county. Basically, there might be a few that don't have a program, but most counties across Nova Scotia have a senior safety program. Now they're not all the same. They all follow certain rules, of course, but they have different ways of doing things, I guess, or the way the program works.
Do you guys share resources between the different areas of the province? I mean, do you share databases on different scams and that kind of stuff so that you're all coming off the same page?
We do and we don't. If we find a good resource, we'll often share it amongst the fellow coordinators for sure, and we connect on a regular basis. But with each program looking a little bit different, we all cover kind of the same things, the frauds, the scams. Most of us do home visits, so we do have an opportunity to share resources, but we don't really necessarily have like a provincial-wide database. The provincial-wide database that we would use would be 211. If we were looking for something like across the province, that would be where we go to. Or if we're missing a resource and we can't find it, then we would reach out to 211.
So how is the program funded? Is it done through the province and the municipalities as a partnership, or how does that work?
Yes, it's the municipalities that the main funding is from both municipalities. The the province does give us a grant, a yearly grant, and then, of course, our office space and equipment here at the RCMP Rural Detachment is a gift in lieu, so that's provided for us for the program through the RCMP. So it's a partnership between the four units or the four people involved.
So, as coordinators, what kind of training did you have to take in order to be set up properly for this position?
So there's no formal training. We do a lot of on the job training with fellow coordinators and courses that we pick up that we would like to take, but there's nothing formal. I come from a human services mental health background, and Peggy worked within the municipality for it's been 40 plus years. So no, nothing formal. It's about knowing your community and knowing the resources within your community to kind of point the seniors in the right direction and be able to share that information with them.
So, how has COVID impacted your programming over the last 18 months?
So
I know it's a bit of a wild card question,
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
it?
COVID has certainly been difficult and has definitely amplified some of the issues we see on a daily basis. I mean, the extended isolation has really impacted seniors' mental health and their loneliness. We've seen, more cases of abuse during COVID, and because everybody's so isolated, you've seen an uptake in scams and frauds, and because people are home, so it's an easy target, and with all the different things, funding and grants that were coming out, it made it a little bit difficult to decipher what was what. And I think the biggest thing for us was that we slowed our home visits during COVID, which was a really big impact because there's times that Peggy and I are the only people that seniors see week in and week out. So it was a big change, and we would call them on the phone, but there's something to be said about a face-to-face in-person visit as opposed to a chat on the phone.
So, how do you reach out to seniors? And I guess that would go back maybe to the beginning of the program, but a lot of seniors, as you know, are not connected to the internet. So, how do you reach out to let seniors know about the program and the various services that you can offer to them?
So I guess I'll speak to that. In the beginning, what we did was probably make a lot of phone calls and a lot of home visits, because one of the items that we were promoting a lot at that time was the Vial of Life, which is, I don't know if people know what the Vial of Life is, but it's a vial. And the vial, inside the vial, we put all kinds of information like emergency contacts, a list of your medications, family doctor, whatever. All that information is put in this vial, and the vial is put in your refrigerator, on the door of your refrigerator, and there are stickers that we put on the outside of the refrigerator. So that would be useful for a person that, say, they're living alone or they're seniors and something happens and the EHS people have to get to them and they don't have a clue on what kind of medications they are. So if they see that vial is done, it's very useful to them. And also the RCMP have used it quite a few times when they go to sudden deaths and there's a vial in the refrigerator, then they can figure out what's going on into the whole thing and who to contact. So that's one of the big things that we did in the beginning, like the first few years. A lot of Vial of Lives were done and home visits, just to introduce ourselves, and did a lot of education through we did social media a little bit, but it was mainly like community meetings with seniors and different agencies, all that stuff that we would be dealing with eventually. So the program, has evolved quite a bit, like I said, from the beginning, because now we don't have to reach out to seniors, they reach out to us, and the agencies reach out to us more and more for our help. So that's about it, I guess. Did I answer the question?
So I know both of you, Ashley and Peggy, and I know that you have built up a great deal of trust and some really good relationships with the seniors that you're in contact with. But on the more serious side, and we're going to get into this, the scams, perhaps some serious incidents. Are seniors comfortable sitting down with you and talking about their personal situations that they may either think that you can help with, or that maybe they just need to talk to someone?
Well, yes and no. I would say they're quite comfortable. I haven't had any, people refuse my services. They're quite comfortable, but it takes a few visits before they open up to us. But on the yeah, on the
It's like anything. You build a relationship with them, and you work at that relationship. So you might not get to the nitty gritty in the first visit, but you get to know them a little bit, and then as time goes on, then you get a little bit more information. But it's people are pretty good, really, and it's generally them reaching out to us.
So, ladies, what does the seniors program entail? Like, what sort of services do you offer? Do you have like a menu of options?
So our number one focus for the program is definitely home visits. So that is what we call our bread and butter, and what we do. And I mean it operates from an intervention and a prevention piece. So we do the community presentations, and that's part of the preventative work we do to kind of educate seniors on services that are available and things like that. But that home visit piece is really key. And then, of course, the Vial of Life, like Peggy was talking about. And through those home visits, like depending on what somebody's needing, then we can kind of help them navigate to different services, or let them know what's offered in the community, whether it be, a service that VON offers, or a continuing care service, or something as simple as a phone number to something. It's quite, but the home visits are our key piece, and that's really what we do.
How does that connect in with the families? Are you coordinating with them and making sure that they're engaged as well?
Well, sometimes yes, but a lot of times there is no family around. The seniors or the clients that we're dealing with, one of the biggest things I find is there's no family around, whether they had no children or they've moved here from away, different things like that. So by the time we get to the homes, there's a lot of that out there that we find. So, but yes, the families have supported and helped us a lot, for sure. If we can find somebody, that's one of the big things,
And we are in a generation of seniors where their kids grow up and move away. So they're what we call caregiving from afar. So whereas, 40, 30 years ago, everybody kind of stayed in the same community and took care of each other, and you don't see that as much anymore. So it's certainly in a different world.
What about additional support groups within the community as well? Are you helping them connect the dots with, other seniors in the area that might be able to provide them with some sort of emotional and support?
As like a friend to friend basis, like connecting a senior to a senior.
Yeah, something like that, like a buddy
It's
system.
not, no, not really. That's not typically something that we do. Our services are all confidential, so we don't cross share,
Sure.
information senior to senior. If somebody's looking for like a recreational contact, then we can certainly direct them to, a chair exercise class or something along those lines. But we haven't, and we've partnered and done like seniors expos, and I do a lunch and learn project in South Ohio, so there is some opportunity to come together in that capacity. But we don't create a buddy system, um, just to help maintain confidentiality.
Sure. So let's talk scams because, of course, that's top of mind for a lot of people when it comes to their family, senior members, and them being vulnerable to those sorts of attacks. And as you mentioned earlier, with COVID, everybody's home a little bit more, so that leaves people kind of open to this sorts of thing. Do you maintain like a bit of a cheat sheet on the different types of scams that are operating in the area?
So we are aware of them, and oftentimes we become aware of them just off of conversations through the RCMP, and a lot of those are the phone calls with asking for your social insurance number, or and we're aware of the different types, like the grandparent scam and the online dating scams, and there's so many different types. We do have a presentation on scams, as well, that we've offered in the past. So we have, a lot, and I have personally seen more scams come through via mail, um, and I've yeah, and in the form of letters. So being careful in that capacity. I had a community member email me not too long ago to make me aware of a scam that may impact a senior that looks, legitimate and is not. And we have the odd client that will call us and say, I just got a phone call. Can you confirm if this is a scam or not? And we're able to say, it's a scam, so don't don't follow through with it. So they're certainly sneaky and good at what they do, because and that's why they do it, because they clearly make money off of it, um, which is the unfortunate part. But we try to educate as much as possible on the different types and what there is, so that if somebody's calling and saying little Joey's, in jail and he needs $500 in bail money, and it's 6 in the morning and grandma's woken up and is disoriented and in a panic because Joey's in jail, and all of a sudden is running to the bank to get $500 when really Joey's home sleeping soundly in his bed, and they've just panicked to grandma. So we always encourage to kind of take a step back and think about it and say, is this realistic? Is this true? And then if they're still not sure, to give us a call or call the non-emergency RCMP line or the scam and fraud line, um, and just give it, just think about it before you act on it.
And I guess one of the things that we do also is that we always tell our seniors and our clients that, never give any information, any personal information to anyone. And if you don't know who they are, if your phone's ringing and you don't know who they are, well, don't answer it. Don't answer it. And I know with the social media now, it's a little bit tricky with them also. There's not a whole bunch of seniors that are on it, but there is some. So we've had presentations done on that, the social media part. We had a member from here do a presentation for us. So yeah, it is out there, that's for sure.
I know the social media ones are tough because realistically you mentioned the Joey's in jail and needs $500 for bail scam scenario, and part of that I think is just a matter of everybody within the family kind of being cautious about what they post on social media. If you announce that, oh, we're going away on our Hawaii vacation, well, that's an invitation to rob your house while you're gone. I mean, you have to think a little bit further down the line about what you're posting on social media and how that could possibly be used, not only against yourself, but against your family in general.
For sure. It's scary, and especially, mom or dad's in the hospital, and you've just, mom and dad's house is now a target, right? So it's so it's so easy, and we do it out of pure innocence and trusting that the people on our social media are good people who are gonna, take care of one another. But when you post it on social media, it's open to the whole world, and that's sometimes a little scary.
Do you think that sometimes people share too much?
Of course they do. I believe they do.
It was almost a rhetorical question because I definitely knew the
For
answer to
sure.
that.
Yeah.
Um, so, other than scams, what are some of the, like, if you had to go down a top 5 list of things that seniors should be aware of or cautious about, what advice would you give?
Um, Cautious of who's on the other line of the phone. So again, going back to the if you don't know the number, don't answer. Um, and if you pick up the phone and you're not sure if it's a scam, um, ask for a phone number to call them back. And when you call them back, the CRA isn't going to answer the phone and say hello. That's they're gonna say Canada Revenue Agency or what have you, or cross-checking that number. Um, Being aware of what you post on social media, again, um, being aware of where your contact information is and who you're giving that out to, and why. You shouldn't have to give out your social insurance number, and most people keep their social insurance number in their wallet. And how many times a year do you need your social insurance number? And most seniors know their social insurance number off by heart. So if they were to need it, for whatever reason, they could probably tell you. So making sure that that's not in your wallet, so that if you lose your wallet, you've just given them the card to kind of take your identity, sort of thing. Like people knocking on your door, promising to do work for you. They see a shingle fell off in the last hurricane and they're going to fix it for you. If you just give them $500 and they'll be back in 30 minutes, and you give them the $500 and they don't show up, so not paying for services before they're completed, or making sure it's from a profitable company, and IDing the person and even their van. Most companies have, so-and-so construction written on the side of it, or so-and-so electrical. So making sure it's from a source, and having people in your life that you trust. So right down to creating your wills and your powers of attorneys, and appointing people that you trust, because that's, those are vulnerable things, and you want to make sure that the people who are taking care of those aspects of your life are trustworthy people, and you can trust them.
So as this airs, Christmas is right around the corner, but New Year as well. So I mean, the holiday season's right upon us. What are some, tidbits advice for you, or to give to seniors for, shopping in the stores, being out and about in the community, keeping your purse closed, don't leave your card unattended, those kinds of things. What else can you kind of give as advice?
Well, I of course with COVID now, it's a little different, a little tricky. They don't go out as much, but I know there will be out for Christmas shopping. But I have told my seniors before, when you're out shopping, for sure, at any point, don't leave your purse unattended. Don't give money to just anybody, because the seniors are so vulnerable to everyone. They are, for some reason, they are. They've accepted, and they've lived in a different world than we are accustomed to now. So yeah, and I'm always telling them that it's not safe out there. I don't want to scare them, but I'm always telling them it's not safe out there. You got to be careful. Lock your doors at your home. But if you're out in the public, yes, do your stuff. Like when you're going to do your banking, make sure that your surroundings are covered and you know where you are. Don't go at night or whatever. Going to get your drugs at the drugstore. That's another place because people know that the drugstore, they go there a certain time of the month when it's check day. They go to the drugstore to get their medications. Then they do their groceries. They know the stops. People, the bad people that are out there, that's how it is. So I tell them, we talk to our seniors about that. And there's no difference in the shopping, in the Christmas shopping time because it's busier. It's busy all the time now, but it's it's busier and there's a lot of people out there. So that's basically what we tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Are
And
seniors still carrying a lot of cash?
Yes and no. Some still have the cash. Yes. Yes.
I know it's a hard
Storing
habit
it
to
in
give
their
up.
house and yep. Yes, yes, there is.
But certainly using a debit card would be a lot safer overall,
Oh,
right?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yep. But then they forget their PIN numbers and all that stuff. So it's a different world. It's a different
it's a different way to budget as well. You know, we can go on our phones and see how much money is left in our bank account, and we can budget that way. Whereas, seniors are on a fixed income, so if they don't know how to use the internet or they don't, it's a little bit harder for them to budget with a debit card versus their cash with what they've been used to. So it's reminding them of safekeeping of money and making sure it's stored in a safe spot. And
one of the things that we did and that happened during COVID was a lot of people, the seniors, did do online banking at the time. They had to be set up, a lot of them, because they couldn't get out. The banks just wasn't accepting people in there, so they couldn't get their money and pay their bills and all that. So a lot of people got set up on online banking, which is good. It's great.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll use my dad as an example. He doesn't listen to my podcast anyways, but my dad, my dad will use online banking to check his balances. And I said, well, you can pay your bills. No, I'll go to the bank or I'll go wherever. I said, but you don't have to. Well, it's my time out of the house. And during COVID, of course, you weren't doing that, but he still would look after things in person if he could. And of course, when it came time to actually use the banking machine, he never would. He wanted to go to a teller. He, just felt that was, not really old fashioned, but that was the way he enjoyed being able to bank, is to go see a person. So then he had to remember what his PIN number was, and of course he had the card in his wallet, but he'd long forgotten what his PIN number was. And I said, well, you got to go. This is what you got to do. And so having family available to try to help and support is a good option. And unfortunately, if, like you say, if there's no family around, or if they don't have any family, they're kind of at a loss.
It is. And the bank is an outing for seniors. They get paid once a month, and that is their social connection for the month, and that's the day they go and pay their bills and
eat out, have lunch,
eat out, and do all these things. Like it's almost like a
routine.
A routine. It's like their monthly day of self-care, I guess, to go out and hit the bank and talk to their people that they consider friends, because that's just what they've done for so long.
My grandmother, rest her soul, that was her thing. And the check day, it was to be out and about, and we'd go for lunch, and I'd take her around because she didn't drive, so I'd take her around and we'd do all the errands, and you make a day out of it, right? Because
exactly,
she didn't get
100%.
out much at that point, but it was a bit of a struggle to get her in on direct deposit for her government stuff.
Another
But
thing,
she wasn't such a fan of
No,
that.
no,
They
a
like
lot of them.
They like to be able to see it, because that's that's what they
That's
grew
their way
up
of
with,
life,
and that's their way of life. So it's a different world, and it's hard to make them adjust, and that was a big adjustment with COVID, was trying to teach and learn, and a lot of them really struggled with that, and that's valid because it's a totally different system than what they're used to.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, seniors grew up in much simpler times, as you've said, and there was much. I mean, I remember. I'll be 63 in February, and I remember as a kid we never locked our doors, we
Mm.
lived two houses up from the jail, and there was some. Yeah, I know. Um, and we
Mm.
had
Quiet neighbors, Gary.
yeah,
Quiet neighbors.
yes, very quiet
Yep.
neighbors. But
Yep.
seniors are trusting, and that's why these scam artists, and it still
That's right.
disturbs me so much how pervasive it is, isn't it? In fact, just
Hmm.
here in our little local community where I am, I know a number of my friends, just in recent days, have had
Mm.
two, three calls from different kinds of scammers. It could be,
Yep.
pretending to be the bank. Hey, you give us the last four digits of your bank account, and we'll fix whatever problem is. Yeah. Or there's the RCMP scam. There's the
Mm.
The
what's
border
it?
services
Cash.
one is
Yeah,
is
border
most
services.
amusing.
Yes,
Yes.
Revenue
Oh, you've got a
Canada.
package and it had, contraband in
Yeah.
it or something. But
Mm.
if you pay us, we'll make it go
Mm.
away.
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
And I can understand people will say, well, why do seniors keep falling for this? Well, if you think about the situation, as you said, they're alone and they're vulnerable, and somebody's calling saying they're the RCMP or the Revenue Canada or the bank. I mean, that's pretty intimidating,
Hmm.
isn't it?
Right. There are, I mean, even the seniors that like we call the seniors that are really, not that old and are used to the new systems. Even they get scared of the scams because these people that call are very persuasive and rude and whatever. And like I had one, I that I figured, this guy should know better than this, but no, he was following it. He was answering the phone every time, and we solved the issue with him. But it was a few months before we finally made him understand that this was not a real thing. Like it was somebody was going to give him money, and he had to meet him at this certain place, and it was a big thing for him. He thought for sure it was going to happen, but it didn't. It was a scam.
I want to ask you, both, whoever wants to answer this, or both of you, if if a neighbor or a family member, perhaps living away, becomes aware of maybe something's not right. Maybe they're suspicious that their senior neighbor is being physically abused or some financial abuse, and perhaps they don't want to reach out directly to the RCMP. Obviously, the senior safety program would be a good start. You would be able to sit down with these people and maybe have a chat. Is that
Hmm.
right?
Right,
Yeah.
definitely. Yep, they do reach out to us first. And even if they do reach out to the RCMP, if it's a senior and they know if there's something going on, they will talk to us about it to see if we know them or go talk to them, help them out. If it's one of our clients, of course we can, we know what it's like, what that person is like, and we know we have information on them. But definitely, yes, yes, we are almost the first ones called now that they know we're here, and we have a lot of referrals from different people. Whether it could be the banks, it could be the the doctor's offices, it could be different agencies that are calling us, telling us, can you go talk to so and so because we think he's being abused financially. The financial part is the big one around here that we seem to find a lot of. Abuse, mental abuse is another one that's pretty big out there right now. Um, Vulnerability, because they're isolated. So there's a vulnerability aspect of it. So yeah, there are different things in abuse. People think about abuse as being just physical, but no. A lot of the physical, there's not a whole lot of physical around here, especially in seniors. There is some. I'm not saying there isn't, but the main one, like I said before, is financial here, and people trying to just scam them into something.
On a brighter note, if I can say that, I know you're both looking forward to when some of the more of the COVID restrictions are lifted, because I know prior to COVID, you folks would stop into the various senior homes, and like where I am here, it's a seniors apartment. And Ashley, we always look forward to your visits. You just check in and say hi, see how everybody's doing, and I know the seniors also appreciated the little treat bags you bring it, whether it was Halloween or, do you know what I mean? Just saying. Well, please
Yeah,
include
hint,
chocolate.
hint.
And I'm
Christmas is
joking.
coming, eh, Gary?
But seriously, that was a really nice way of just keeping in touch. And I know for many seniors, that little visit, that little hi, how are you, or that little treat bag, even if they weren't home and they come home, there's a little treat bag from the senior safety coordinator. It means a lot to them, and I know that you both know that.
Yep, it does, definitely.
And that's one of the beauties of our job, and that's something that we love to do for our clients and our seniors, because we know it brings a smile to their face, but it also brings a smile to our faces. So and it's always nice to know that you're being thought of, and especially around the holidays when it's hard for a lot of people.
So with the holidays just around the corner, do you guys have like seasonal types of programs and touch points, or is it really the same kind of stuff all the way through the year, because it really is important all the way through the year?
It depends on the year. Like we've done Christmas gatherings in the past, but it's the year of COVID, so it's not really possible this year in terms of bringing people together just for their safety. But we always get out and do a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and see you in the new year kind of thing. But as far as Christmas programming, there's not a whole lot that's gonna go on this year.
Understand.
Just a reminder to enjoy the season and stay safe. And
Yes, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody, and just be safe, because like I said before, there is a lot of things happening, and the holiday season is rough on people. It is rough, and seniors are so isolated, and some of them have no one. So yes,
Everybody knows somebody that's a senior, or somebody that could use a hello, how's it going?
that's right.
So certainly, not everybody sees the holiday season as a happy time. So, my advice personally is, hey, check in on your neighbors, see what's going on, see if they need anything, just say hi.
Yeah.
And everybody bakes for the holidays, right? So bring your neighbor a cookie, or even a Christmas card. It's
Exactly.
the small gestures. It's they don't necessarily want the gifts as much as they would like the hello and the visit, right?
That's right.
Gary's my official taste tester of any recipe I try.
We work at the Yarmouth Rural RCMP detachment. If you need another taste tester.
Sure. We can work that out.
So just in wrapping up, first of all, if someone's listening to this podcast right now and they'd like to reach out to the senior safety program, what's the best, easiest way to do it?
So they can certainly give us a call. Our office number here is 902-881-4099, and that will reach both Peggy and myself. They're welcome to, on the off chance, pop into the rural detachment and see if one of us is here, but we're on the road a lot, as you can imagine, so that's, not always the easiest way. We probably encourage a phone call first, at least, to make sure that we're here.
Peggy Boudreau, Ashley Rhyno, thank you both so much. It's been very interesting, and a very Merry Christmas to both of you.
Same to you, Gary.
Thank you. Same to you.
We've been speaking with Ashley Rhyno and Peggy Boudreau. They are coordinators for the RCMP Senior Safety Program in the municipality of Yarmouth and the municipality of Argyll. I'm Gary Nickerson.
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
And this has been Outside My Window.